They say music can heal, that it lifts us from despair, gives us hope, even saves lives. But what if one song did the opposite? What if one haunting melody, written in sorrow, carried with it a shadow so dark it was blamed for over 100 suicides across the world? This is the disturbing true story of Gloomy Sunday, the song that many believe can drive people to die. Let's go back to 1933 in Budapest, Hungary. The world was sinking into economic depression. Europe was tense, fractured, fragile. And in a cramped apartment above the city, a struggling composer named Rezső Szeress sat at a piano, alone. Szeress was no star. He wasn't famous. In fact, he was broke, heartbroken, and nearly forgotten by the world. His dreams of becoming a successful songwriter had crumbled. His fiancée had left him. He felt like a failure, with nothing left to offer. One gray, bitter Sunday afternoon, he sat down and poured his grief into a song. Not to cheer himself up, not to entertain, but to mourn, to grieve through music. He titled it Szomorú Vasárnap, in English, Gloomy Sunday. The lyrics spoke of a world without hope, of cities crumbling, skies darkening, love lost forever. It ended with a wish for death, peace found only in the grave. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't gentle, it was the sound of pure despair. And yet, it got published. At first, it didn't get much attention, but then something strange began to happen. Rumors began to circulate around Budapest. A young man had taken his own life after listening to the song on repeat. A shopkeeper shot himself with the sheet music still on the counter. A woman was found drowned in the Danube River, clutching the lyrics to Gloomy Sunday in her coat pocket. In just a few months, the song had become an urban legend. People whispered about it in cafes. Some said it was cursed. Others were simply too afraid to play it. The Hungarian government took the rumors seriously. Police began connecting suicide cases that all seemed to have one thing in common: the haunting notes of Gloomy Sunday. Eventually, authorities banned the song from public performance. But the curse didn't stop in Hungary. When the song crossed borders and made its way to Germany, France, and eventually the United Kingdom, it brought the same trail of tragedy with it. In London, the BBC received complaints from listeners who claimed the song left them in tears, or worse. One listener described it as a funeral that never ends. Another said they couldn't sleep for days after hearing it just once. Eventually, even the BBC banned it from broadcast, allowing only instrumental versions, no lyrics allowed. And then came Billie Holiday. In 1941, she recorded the English version of the song. Her voice, soft, mournful, ethereal, took Gloomy Sunday to a new level of haunting beauty. It became known as the Hungarian suicide song. Some called it elegant, some called it cursed. Reports of suicide attempts followed the release. A man in New York supposedly jumped from a hotel window with a phonograph still playing the song in his room. A teenager in Rome wrote in her final letter that Gloomy Sunday was the last beautiful thing I heard. But here's the question that no one could answer. Can a song actually cause suicide? Or was this all just a mass coincidence, a dark fairy tale? Psychologists began to weigh in. Some said it was the power of suggestion, that hearing about suicides associated with the song made vulnerable people believe they were being called to die. Others believed the lyrics resonated too deeply during hard times. After all, the world was battling poverty, war, and loneliness. Gloomy Sunday didn't plant the darkness. It simply echoed it. But there were a few who whispered something stranger, that the song had a kind of energy, that it acted as a trigger. Not for all, but for some. The idea of music being dangerous isn't new, but this was different. Gloomy Sunday didn't inspire violence, it inspired surrender, a quiet, aching pull toward nothingness. And through it all, one man watched the chaos unfold. The composer. He had finally achieved fame, but it was the kind no one wants. He once told a reporter, "I stand in the midst of this deadly success as an accused man." He couldn't undo it. He couldn't change the song. He had written the truth of his heart. And in the end, it claimed him as well. In 1968, Szeress died by suicide. He leapt from a window in Budapest. The composer of Gloomy Sunday became its final tragic verse. And so, the legend lives on. Some say the song should be forgotten, buried, erased. Others seek it out, curious, reckless, drawn by mystery.